Salut, it's Jennifer, your French teacher in the south of France. And in this lesson, I am going to show you how to form and how and when to use this tense called le futur antérieur. So before we get started, I want to make sure you have your cours downloaded, okay, so that you can take notes as we go along. That will help you retain all of this new information. And you want to be sure once you have learned everything that I'm going to tell you in this lesson, you want to make sure that you do the exercises that are included, that you practice and master the futur antérieur with your set of practice cards, and that you do the listening comprehension exercise that I have for you. If you're not sure where to find all of these accompanying resources, just make sure you read the description below. Okay, so le futur antérieur, this is as an advanced level lesson because you have to know a few things really before you can get started with the futur antérieur. You have to know how to use and form le passé composé, right? So you know how sometimes in the passé composé you use être as helping verb. Other times you use avoir, right? So you need to know that, and I'll show you why in a minute. And you also need to know how to form the futur simple, just of two verbs, être and avoir. Okay? So if you haven't learned those yet, you might want to back up a little bit. Okay? When are we going to use le futur antérieur? Let's think back to the passé composé. Passé composé, I told you you're going to use it when you're sure that something actually happened. You're not using the passé composé to describe. You're using to state something that happened. It had a beginning and it had an ending. So the futur antérieur, this is funny. You kind of got to wrap your head around it. You use it to talk about something that will have happened at some point in the future. Okay, you see what that means? So it also, just like the passé composé, will have had a beginning and an ending. In English, we call this the future perfect tense. So even though this thing hasn't happened yet, at some point in the future, it will have happened, all right? By 7 o'clock tonight, the children will have eaten all of the ice cream in the house, something like that, okay? It's not 7 o'clock yet, but when that time gets here, here's what will have happened. Okay, so here, let's talk about what it looks like and how it's formed first. So I told you were going to need to know the futur simple, and here's the reason why. So I want you to write this down on your cours as I'm writing it down. You're going to use avoir. When avoir is your helping verb in the passé composé, it's also going to be your helping verb in the futur antérieur. Okay, because futur antérieur, just like passé composé, requires a helping verb and a past participle. Follow all of the passé composé rules, right? The only thing that's going to change is we will put avoir in the futur simple tense. So let's go. And you can say them with me as we do this. J'aurai, donc j'aurai, tu auras, il, elle, on aura, nous aurons, vous aurez, ils, elles auront. D'accord? So there's your futur simple of the verb avoir. So we're going to use, we're going to, of course, begin with an example here. We're going to take the verb regarder. It's a regular verb that uses avoir as helping verb. So what we want to say is, I will have watched. Okay, let me put this all down here on the same spot. I will have watched. So what I'm going to do is start with je, of course. J'aurais. See, that's my helping verb in the futur simple. J'aurais regardé. D'accord? You will have watched. Tu auras regardé. He, she, we will have watched. Il, elle, on aura regardé. And yes, I just said that on means we. Okay? It can, of course, mean other things, but most of the time it means we. So that's how I'm going to translate it here. Of course, we still have the other form of we, which is nous, and you can feel free to use that anytime you want. Nous aurons regardé. Okay. You will have watched. Vous aurez regardé. D'accord? And they will have watched. Ils or elles, of course, elles auront regardé. So far, so good? Now, we know that sometimes être is used as helping verb. So what we're going to do is begin by putting être, conjugating it in the future simple tense. So it's going to be je serai, tu seras, with an S. Il, elle, on sera, nous serons, vous serez, and ils, elles seront. Right? So that's my helping verb in the futur simple. So I've chosen the verb arriver, right? It uses être as helping verb. It's also a regular ER verb. So you're going to follow this pattern with all verbs that use être as a helping verb. So that's your Dr. and Mrs. P. Vandertramp verbs, right? So we want to say, I will have arrived. Je serai arrivé. Not forgetting that we sometimes have to make agreement. Well, we always have to make agreement when necessary if être is our helping verb, right? So I will have arrived. You will have arrived. Tu seras arrivé. Perhaps tu is feminine. We might need an E. He, she, we will have arrived. Donc, il aura, pardon me, il sera arrivé. Or, of course, elle sera arrivée. On sera arrivé. D'accord? With the nous form, we will have arrived. Nous serons arrivés. Now, that might be an all-feminine group. We're definitely going to need an S. Nous serons arrivés. Vous serez arrivés. Might be feminine, might be plural. Okay. They will have arrived. Ils seront arrivés. Definitely with an S. Okay. Ou elles seront arrivées. ES. ES. D'accord? So that's our example with arriver, using être as a helping verb in the futur simple. Here's se coucher. I wanted to put one in with the reflexive verb just so you could remember, especially that you have to use être as helping verb with all reflexive or reciprocal verbs. So I will have gone to bed. Now keep in mind what we're talking about. At some point in the future, here's an action that I will have completed, right? Donc, je me. You have to put the me before your helping verb, just like in the passé composé. Je me serai couché. D'accord? Tu te seras couché. Il se sera couché. D'accord? Ou alors, elle se sera couchée. Let's do one with nous. Nous serons couchés. Maybe feminine, definitely plural. Okay? You will have gone to bed using vous. Vous serez couché. Maybe feminine, maybe... Oh, what did I do there? Okay. Couché, maybe feminine, maybe plural. And they will have gone to bed. Ils se seront couchés. D'accord? Ou bien sûr, elles se seront couchées. ES. ES. Alors, now, let's get to some examples in context, showing you how to use this in context so you can really grasp. Because I think if you know the passé composé, you're probably thinking, oh, this is not hard to form. I just have to wrap my head around when to use it. So that's what we're going to do right now. Avoir is going to be our helping verb. So I will have taken my time learning this lesson. Okay, so we're going to use the verb prendre, right? That's the verb prendre. And we know we use avoir. Your past participle is pris, right? Donc, let me get this straight. I'm having a hard time here. Donc, here we go. J'aurais pris mon temps en apprenant cette leçon. J'aurais pris mon temps en apprenant cette leçon. Très bien. Okay, let's go on to your to form. You will have read all of this writer's novels. So, of course, this is our verb lire, past participle lu. Okay, donc tu auras lu tous les romans de cet écrivain. Super. Alors, elle, now here we're going to use, oh, look, I didn't mean to leave that in for you. That's your helping verb of the verb, I'm going to take it out. That's the helping verb of the verb suivre, okay? Suivre, so suivi is our past participle. Donc, elle, what is it? Elle aura suivi le mode d'emploi. D'accord? We will have learned to speak French. To learn, apprendre, right? And so our past participle is appris. Donc, nous aurons, right? Nous aurons appris à parler français. Don't forget your ah there. That's super important. Will you have set the table? See, this one I turned into a question. How do you say set the table? Which verb are you going to use? Right? It's mettre. Past participle mis. Donc, vous aurez mis la table. Vous aurez mis la table. And finally, they will have responded to all of the questions. Voilà, c'est le verbe répondre et participe passé répondu. D'accord? Donc, ils auront répondu à toutes les questions. Again, don't forget your ah. Super important. D'accord? Okay, so there you saw those verbs that use avoir as helping verb in context. Now let's get some with être. So I will have come home before midnight. Which verb do you want to use there? I'm going to use rentrer, right? Because to come home, that's our verb rentrer. And then, of course, your past participle is rentrer with an accent. But we have to use être, don't forget. So it will be what? Je serai rentré avant minuit, right? So if your je is feminine, add an e. Okay, what about tu? We're going to talk about brushing teeth. So that's reflexive, right? Se brosser or se laver les dents. I know se laver means to wash, but that's what we mostly say in my house anyway for teeth. You can do either one. So, tu te, don't forget your te, tu te seras lavé les dents. Now, don't make agreement here. Do you know why? Remember the body part rule. That body part rule, remember that means that you don't have to make agreement in the passé composé, even though être is your helping verb. We call it a body part rule because it will always be a body part if you find yourself using a reflexive verb with a direct object following it. Okay, so that body part is actually a direct object. No agreement, d'accord? Now look, he will have already left when you arrive. So that's the verb partir, past participle, parti, d'accord? Donc, il sera déjà. Many times you will see a déjà here. Il sera déjà parti quand tu arriveras. Quand tu arriveras. In English, I put will in parentheses. Because in French, remember when you're using the word quand, or many others like that, and you're making reference to the future, you're going to want to use a future tense after it. So here I've used the futur simple, but it could happen that you use the futur antérieur, right? Nous, we will have already fallen asleep. Again, we have a reflexive verb, s'endormir, s'endormir. Donc, we can't forget our pronoun, reflexive pronoun. Donc, nous serons déjà, don't forget déjà, endormis. See? Did you remember your S? Okay, you will have already come to our house. That's going to be the verb. Which verb is that to come? Venir, and your past participle is venu, right? Donc, vous, this is not reflexive, vous serez déjà venu chez nous. Vous voyez? Alors, and here we go. They will have already parked. This is a reflexive verb. Se garer, right? Se garer, and so your past participle will be garer. Donc, ils se seront déjà garés. I know I don't need another E because il is my subject, right? So it's either masculine or mixed group. All right, now examples using negation and pronouns. I know this is an advanced lesson, and so you've probably learned pronouns, and I wanted to give you a chance to practice those at the same time while learning the Futur Antérieur. So I will not have learned my lesson by tomorrow. And the first one, we're just going to put in our verb. Second one, we're going to put our verb along with a pronoun. I'll walk you through this, okay? So the verb that we're needing here is apprendre, right? And we said that appris is the past participle. Donc, and we want to make it negative, okay? Je n'aurais pas appris ma leçon avant demain. You got all that? So what we want to do in the next one is replace ma leçon with a pronoun. So the pronoun that you're going to need, if you want to replace ma leçon, that's a direct object, right? What will I not have learned? My lesson. If it answers the question, what, that's a direct object. So since ma leçon is feminine, what is your direct object pronoun? La. Okay? In this case, it's going to turn into L apostrophe, right? Because it's going to come before a vowel. Remember, we need to keep it negative. Je ne l'aurais pas apprise. Did you remember to put the E on there? Je ne l'aurais pas apprise avant demain. If you're like, Jennifer, why did you have to put an E on there? It's because you have a preceding direct object. In this case, it's a direct object pronoun. This happens in the passé composé, so it's going to happen in the futur antérieur as well. Remember, you follow all of the passé composé rules, including this one. Make agreement with preceding direct objects or direct object pronouns. So that actually changes the way that this is pronounced, apprise. Okay. Here, let me get this down on the next page. Okay, here we're using tu. You will never have arrived at the office on time, so that's our verb arriver. D'accord? We have to use être with arriver, right? So tu ne seras never. Tu ne seras jamais arrivé au bureau à l'heure. Tu ne seras jamais arrivé au bureau à l'heure. So what we want to do is replace au bureau with a pronoun. So which one are you going to choose? Well, you have a plus a place. So that's going to be your pronoun I. Oui? Donc, tu n'y seras jamais arrivé à l'heure. Voilà. Okay, she will only have had one child. So this is the verb avoir, right? Past participle eu. Now, what kind of negation are we going to use here? It has the word only, but I don't want you to use seulement. I want you to use the kind of negation that means only. So do you know what I'm talking about? That's your ne, que. Donc, elle n'aura eu qu'un enfant. Elle n'aura eu qu'un enfant. So you see here you've got you've got your ne, and then you have que, and that means only. Okay. Un enfant. Un enfant. What I want you to replace with the pronoun is enfant. Now notice I didn't underline un, because if you look down here in these sentences, the word un is, pardon, is already there for you. That's a quantity. So what does that tell you about enfant? Which pronoun you should use to replace it? Well, you should use the pronoun en, in this case, because we're dealing with a quantity. D'accord? So we've got this negation and the pronoun en. Donc, elle n'en aura eu qu'un. Elle n'en aura eu qu'un. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. Try to say it. Elle n'en aura eu qu'un. Okay. Nous. Here we go. Nous. Donc, we will not have seen each other at the concert. What happens, this each other, you have to remember, this is a reciprocal verb, but it works just like a reflexive verb. So your infinitive is se voir. D'accord? To do something to each other rather than to oneself. So your past participle is vu. D'accord? We're going to use être as helping verb. Nous ne nous serons pas vus au concert. There could be an E in there as well, depending on who nous is actually representing. Nous ne nous serons pas vus au concert. D'accord. What I want you to replace is au concert with a pronoun. So again, we're talking about a place, in this case, followed by a place. So we need to use the pronoun I. Voilà. Donc, let's get all these pronouns in here because now we have a reflexive pronoun and the pronoun I. D'accord? Donc, nous ne nous y serons pas vus. Voilà. That's great. All right. Now, vous, you will not have brought the tomatoes yet. Which verb do you want to use? I'm going to go for apporter. So my past participle is apporter. D'accord? Now, hold on. Before we do this, I want you to notice the kind of negation I'm wanting you to use. I have the word yet in there. So that negation is going to be what? Pas encore. Okay, let's not forget that. Donc, vous ne, pardon me, I'm not using pronoun yet. Vous n'aurez pas encore apporté les tomates. Vous n'aurez pas encore apporté les tomates. So I want you to replace les tomates with a pronoun. D'accord? So that is going to be which pronoun? Well, it's a direct object, right? What have you not yet brought? The tomatoes. So we're going to use the pronoun les to replace them. Okay? So here I just have a vous. We have to fill in everything else. Vous ne les aurez pas encore apporté. Apporté what? The tomatoes, right? So they're feminine and plural, so add an E and an S there. Vous ne les aurez pas encore apportés. In this case, it doesn't change the way apporter is spoken, is pronounced rather. All right? Enfin, they will never have gone to Paris. Donc, that's going to be just your verb aller. Okay, past participle, aller. Donc, voilà, ils ne seront jamais allés à Paris, right? Because we're using never here. Ils ne seront, oops, with a T. Jamais allés à Paris. Make sure you put a T because I made a typo. Now, if we want to say they will never have been there, what we need to replace is à Paris with a pronoun. So that's going to be your pronoun I, right? We've talked about this one, seen it a few times. Donc, voilà, we're using never. Donc, ils n'y seront jamais allés. You might say, Jennifer, could I use être there? Probably so. I mean, it would mean the same thing, but in my original sentence up here, I just noticed what I've done. Up here, I said they will have never gone to Paris, which should be the verb aller. And down here, I said they will have never been there. So that's what, if you're thinking, oh, I'd rather use être, go ahead, use être. Past participle été. So I'll just put that up here as an option for you. Okay? Same thing, really. Okay, so now, just one more thing. You may have seen my lesson on using the futur simple after the following conjunctions when you're referring to the future. So we have conjunctions like quand, lorsque, aussitôt que, dès que, après que, une fois que, right? And we saw this in one of my examples earlier. I was using a verb after the word quand, and I was referring to the future, so I used the futur simple. So my point is you can also sometimes use the futur antérieur, okay, if the context is right. So let's just look at a few examples this way, and then we'll be done. And you can practice with all of those extra resources. So when you will have finished cleaning up your room, so that's the verb we're looking for right there, is finir. Donc, quand tu auras fini de ranger ta chambre, tu pourras partir. So when you will have finished, futur antérieur, cleaning up your room, you can leave. In English, I just say you can leave, present tense. But remember in French, tu pourras partir. It sounds better in the future because once again, we're making reference to the future. Not always when you use quand and lorsque and all these other ones, but sometimes. Okay? Like this one, lorsque. Okay, so remember, lorsque and quand are pretty interchangeable. When you have washed your hair, and I guess I could have said when you will have washed your hair, even though we wouldn't say it in English that way. We probably would say when you've washed your hair, you have to dry it. Donc, lorsque, I'm going to use a tu here, okay? Lorsque tu, don't forget it's reflexive, te. And so that means we have to use être. Lorsque tu te seras lavé les cheveux, il faudra les sécher. D'accord? Again, faudra, it's the verb falloir in the futur simple. I did not make agreement on laver because of that body part rule. You might want to write that in, body part rule, that I mentioned earlier. Aussitôt que. Now, aussitôt que means as soon as, d'accord? Pardon. Here we have the futur simple. Elle m'appellera aussitôt qu'elle. And we want to use the verb arriver. Donc, it uses être as a helping verb. Aussitôt qu'elle sera arrivée with an extra E. Okay? Following passé composé rules. Dès que. As soon as I have cut the potatoes. So I'm going to use the verb couper, which uses avoir as helping verb. Donc, let's go on and do that first, and then we'll look at the rest of the sentence. Dès que j'aurai coupé les patates, je ferai les frites. Futur simple. So as soon as I have cut the potatoes, I will make the fries or chips or whatever you call them where you're from. Okay? Just two more. Après que. So après means after. But when you want to say after and then you have a subject coming right after it, like I do here, je, you have to put que in between. D'accord? Donc, and I'm using the verb to talk, which is parler. Donc, après que je lui aurai parlé, je te raconterai tout. Après que je lui aurai parlé, je te raconterai tout. Again, I'm using lui there because parler is one of those verbs that's followed by a plus a person, which indicates an indirect object. So we need lui, an indirect object pronoun. D'accord? Again, making reference to the future, and we have one more, une fois que, which means once. Okay? Une fois que nos copains, and our verb is to leave, because down here I have the past participle left, right? So that's our verb partir. Donc, une fois que nos copains seront partis, with an S, on fera la vaisselle. Une fois que nos copains seront partis, on fera la vaisselle. I know that copain is a masculine or mixed group. Otherwise, it would have been copine, right? So that's why I only had to add an S. Voila! So that's a big, big lesson. I really encourage you to practice, practice, practice. Practice will make perfect. And of course, forming it is the easy part. I understand that. But I hope that all of these examples that I've given you have shown you different ways that you can use the futur antérieur in context. Allez, merci beaucoup et à bientôt.